I'm Kathy Dodson.
And I'm Jocelyn Lindsay. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Indie Insights, publishing tips and tricks we try and keep it to mostly 5 minutes because small tips lead to your big wins.
Oh, that's a great segue for what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Because something we've kind of talked about before, we're talking about your ego versus the reader. And we've talked about this in terms of book covers before, but this time we're going to talk about it in terms of Facebook advertising. Because what you think is a great ad or text or headline might not be what makes a potential customer click.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God. And we're both eyeball deep in Facebook ads right now. And I know you've experienced it, but man, what I think and what the reader thinks,
It's crazy. It can be
it's,
In
yeah.
fact, I'd love to show some examples
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah, you have some fabulous examples.
All right, so we're going to share the screen. Maybe. All right. So my book Tequila Midnight is the one that I'm advertising. Clearly an alcohol theme, right? So I can make two ads. They both got their bottles of booze in them and they look fairly similar to me. Audience loves this one. This one got no clicks.
Not at all.
Well, now I did get a few, but this one did 30, 40, 50 times better. I mean, it was just amazing. Why? I don't know, because it's brighter. Who knows? Okay, but that's just one example. So here's another one. Again, playing off the kind of tequila, Southwest, hot Mexico. The book takes place on both sides of the border.
Yep.
Kind of a Day of the Dead theme. Thought this was super cute.
I
I
love
loved
that.
it. No one else thought it was cute. This one, however, it didn't do good with audience, but with Colleen Hoover's audience, which I tested against, this one did amazingly well, right? Hot in more ways than one. It is a little bit of a spicy book, and again, in more ways than one. So that one did really well with certain audiences. This one didn't do well with any audiences. So there it goes to show. And now this is my favorite because people love this particular book cover, and a lot of advertising people say, take that book cover, use that as part of your ad. There's several gurus that say that this ad should do well. This ad is, I think, the ugliest ad I've ever created. Guess which one got more clicks?
The
The
ugliest ad you've ever
ugly
created.
hardly got any. So all those gurus, it just didn't work for me, right? And this one did really well. So I just wanted to share those with you. You have to test. You don't know. The gurus don't know. Nobody knows. Get out there and test a really wide range of things
Yep.
because
Yeah.
that will tell you what your audience wants.
Yeah. And I'm in the midst of the same thing. I have some ads that I thought the audience would totally loved and they're bombing.
Yeah.
I've got a couple that have gotten no clicks in like 2 days, and it's fascinating to see because I've got to change some things around, and I'm about to go on a new round of tests. And yeah, if I did everything on what I wanted, no books would sell. Or it would be much harder to find the audience because my artistic advertising aesthetic is clearly different than like my readers. And I think right now this is so important for us to be finding out because when you're not publishing, you are creating in a silo. Really, the only person that's reading your stuff and that's involved in it is you. And you have a very different like mindset and thought process on what's going to work or not. And thousands of readers out there don't think like you do.
Right. And there's actually a problem. You know that book better than anybody. And so you're really biased when you go in and do these ads. And you're not
Exactly.
thinking like Joe Average Reader. You're thinking like the author who wrote the book and about what you think is important. Guess
Right.
what? What you think is important doesn't matter at
Doesn't
all.
matter. And
Right?
that's, yeah, it doesn't matter at all. And I think it's one of the hurdles that newer writers that are publishing need to get over as fast as possible. It's not about what you think, it's about what your reader thinks because the reader is buying your book.
Right. And you learn so much about your readers, but also about your books when you get out there and test this stuff. test
Exactly.
images, you test languages, right? You test your primary text over and over. You text different headlines and you find out what your audience wants, and that can open your eyes to your own book format.
Absolutely. Yeah. The primary text that I'm testing right now, um, it's the text that you see in the ad, and all of the primary text that I loved, I think, and you think I'm a good writer. I can write this. I know how to write for people, right? Because I just wrote 400 pages for people.
Copywriting is totally different.
Oh my God, and you're talking like three, maybe four lines of text.
Yeah.
And wow, some of the stuff that I thought was good, so bombed. And some of the stuff I looked at and I'm like, okay, let's try it.
Advertising copy is if you write novels, advertising copy is incredibly difficult
And
to, you know,
painful.
it is. You got to tell a story in like a sentence,
Yeah,
instead of in 80,000 words.
yeah.
But Facebook gives you a great way to test over and quickly and find out what your reader wants to see.
Exactly. And I think very quickly the thing that's really nice about advertising and testing these ads on Facebook is you start getting copy that will work in other places. It will work on your Amazon page. It will work on Instagram or Facebook posts that you put out there. You do start finding what your readers want, and then you can give it to them. Until you know what your readers want, you can't give it to them. And this kind of testing is a great way to start finding that out.
Right. And it's, just to take a second here, it may be that take your book, Jocelyn, which is urban fantasy, kick-ass, older protagonist. It may be that people want the story of an older protagonist overcoming something. It may be that there's a different angle, that people really are into the fantasy world,
Yep.
right? There are all these different angles that you can
Yep.
look at your story through, and that's what you find out through testing. One
Yeah.
is the clickiest that you will like the best.
Exactly. So get out there, get out of your head, let your ego go. It's about the reader. And once it starts going off of your desk and out into the world, it's not your baby anymore. It's not your product anymore. It now belongs to the masses and the world. And we talk a lot about selling books, and that's what you want to do.
Yep.
So yeah, so test your little heart out, and we will see you next time. Thanks for being here, and give us a like and a subscribe. And if there's something you want us to specifically talk about, let us know. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.